Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are doing the what's next on the former WBO Interim Heavyweight Champion Joyce, following an upset. I think it was a 7th round TKO loss, or 6th round, to Zheili, the Chinese heavyweight. Tough loss for Joyce. Before we do that, though, if you guys could smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate any and all support I can get as I try to push my channel out there. And if you don't like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs down, or leave a comment, let me know why. It's all good. So back to Joyce. Tough loss. It's a shame when you see a guy who seemingly has it all. He's got power, he can box, undefeated, feared, and he's knocking on the door of a title shot. He's just waiting his turn, and he's already a mandatory guy, and he sacrifices his mandatory status, but is likely overlooking the dude in front of him, and you lose and you get knocked out. We saw that within a week of each other. Sebastian Fundora on April 8th, that happened to him. And then April 15th, Joyce, it happens to him against Zheili. But, it was a shame, because I did tell people, don't sleep on Zhang, man. That dude is solid, and he's fearless. And that's what it takes. It's a combination of things, and a guy's overlooking you, and very easily to slip up and get caught and get knocked out. And Zhang really put it on Joyce. So tough loss for Joyce. He loses his interim belt and his mandatory status. The big question now is, what's next for Joyce? And for all intents and purposes, I believe he has a rematch clause in the contract, but it's looking like he doesn't want to, invoke that right away. And he really took a beating on his eye. His eye was swollen shut. So, it's going to be interesting to see what he ends up doing following that, following that loss. So let's run through the top 10 and see if there's anybody that he has a chance of fighting. So, we start with Tyson Fury, the undefeated WBC champion. Not going to happen. Fury is factoring in Zhang now, but now, the Joyce fight is completely off the table. He was actually being floated as an option before the loss to Zhang. Now that's been taken out of the equation, so not going to happen. Then there's Alexander Usyk, the unified heavyweight champ. Well, he was in line, and he had his opportunity, and now it's gone. For now, it's gone. So Usyk will not be next for him, because Usyk doesn't have to fight him now that he's not the mandatory anymore. Then you got Deontay Wilder. Not likely, highly unlikely Wilder would take a chance against a guy like Joyce after Joyce has lost. He probably wouldn't have fought him if he would have won, but especially now that he lost, so no way. Next, former 2-time unified champion Anthony Joshua. Not likely. Joshua really didn't mention Joyce's name, and if he did, it was more like the guy hasn't done anything yet prior to the loss, but now that he lost, he's really not going to fight him. There's no way. So I don't think so. Andy Ruiz Jr., no way. Ruiz is not going to risk it when he's in a prime place to possibly challenge for the heavyweight title against Tyson Fury, and he's being floated as an option. There's the fight with Deontay Wilder sitting there. So, he's got a litany of options, does Ruiz, and he's not going to risk it fighting a guy coming off a loss now, like Joyce. Luis Ortiz. I don't know if Ortiz would fight. It depends on what Ortiz can get. I think Joyce might be down to fight a guy like Ortiz, but you have to have Frank Warren and Top Rank get together to work with the PBC and Ortiz, and I just don't know if it's possible, or if Joyce would want to take a risk against a guy with the punch of Luis Ortiz. Even though Joyce would probably be the favorite going in, it still would be a risk coming off of a loss. Then you got Dillian White, the former interim champion and world title challenger. You know, it's an all UK fight here, but I just don't think these guys will get together to make it happen. Dillian White, you know, it was one of those ones where White, you know, maybe was in position to be the B side. Now he's almost the A side and wouldn't have to fight Joe Joyce. Plus, it's Matchroom and DAZN working with Top Rank and Frank Warren. Not likely to happen unless it's a major fight. Daniel Dubois, the WBA regular champion, not likely. Dubois, which would be a rematch for Joyce. Dubois, of course, wants his revenge, but he's next in line to fight Usyk. Even if Dubois were to beat Usyk to become unified champ, do you really think he's going to fight Joyce when Joyce is not even a mandatory? Absolutely not, so I don't think so. And then Joseph Parker, which would be a rematch. Parker, I mean, I'm sure Parker would maybe want his revenge at some point, but definitely not next. And I don't think Joe Joyce, what does he get out of that? He convincingly beat Joseph Parker. He doesn't need that fight. And then there's Filip Hrgovic, the IBF mandatory #1. He doesn't need the fight with Joe Joyce, so I don't think it happens. So Joe Joyce is really in a position where he either comes back and fights Zhang, if he can, next for the interim title and get right back in the mix, or he's gonna have to, you know, go and take a tune-up fight or a guy out of the top 10 to kind of get that confidence back and get a win under his belt. It's really up to him. But again, I have not heard that he has an automatic rematch clause, so I don't know is the truth. And they haven't really made it clear, but it looks like he could have one. But does he want to risk that? Is that a smart move? To be honest, I don't know. It depends on Joe Joyce's confidence and how much it was rocked in that fight. I think in terms of his career and where he's at, getting right back in the mix would be big. Go knock Zhang out, prove it was a fluke, and you're right back in the mix of things. If he doesn't, Zhang's gonna move on, and Joyce is gonna have to move to the back of the line and start over. And he's 37, so I don't know if that necessarily will work. So we'll see what happens. But that's it. That's what I got. That's my what's next on the former interim heavyweight champion Joe Joyce following his upset TKO loss to Zheili Zhang on April 15th on ESPN. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.